It's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, March 18th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there moving around is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. That is because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. So like I said, I like to get these when the market's still open for a little bit, and we'll see what happens as the video continues to progress. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, we are taking a look at QBTS, and been tracking this one very routinely. And once again, we have ourselves another breakout. Drew in this pattern previously, got the breakout late day, and you can see today have gotten more continuation up through there. So definitely some updates here need to be done. First, I'm going to do is a little house clean. Let me just get rid of those lines as they serve their purpose for now. So first level that I would call the ideal level. I mean, say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And that would be if the price could, stay up here. Let me get that changed to green to represent support. Stay up above that area. With all that being said, don't get me wrong. If the price goes down to that level and then falls below it, that does not mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could manage to stay above that level, that would certainly be a very impressive sign of strength. Taking a step back though and looking at things from the overarching standpoint, that is where the purple line there comes into play, the 50 period simple moving average. Keyword being moving because I get it, the price is way up there, that line's way down there. But as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that purple line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are in full health, the bulls are in full control. How are you going to best visualize that? That is what is being represented there. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Just a question of where did the party finally stop today? And it stopped right up there at about the $12 mark. So $12 for, like I said, that reason alone, very basic logic, is going to be the key battleground moving forward. But all in all, higher highs and higher lows is the name of the game. Next one here, looking at SES and what a monster move this one has had. So it started off the day a little bit kind of sketchy, gapped up, ran all the way here, and then the price started to drop and drop and drop, but it leveled off, put in a nice little pattern, got the break of the pattern, and then really hasn't looked back at all. So from that angle, that trade has come and gone, and I really do like that setup when there's nice movements. They come back down, kind of consolidate out, and then you look for this sort of movement. But like I said, in this situation, the movement has already happened. So now it's just a question of kind of where these some of these next potential battleground points at. With the next key, in fact, let's just do this. Make it easier to see. So let me go to the 1 hour time frame. Now this means each one of these candlesticks represents 1 hour's worth of time. So next key battleground to watch moving forward from the resistance standpoint, this former area of support right here around the 77-cent mark. And then not too far away from the 77 mark as resistance, you have that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. So basically 77 cents, 80 cents, right up around that general area. In fact, if you want, you could just call this basically a resistance zone up around here. That's going to be the main battleground if this upwards move continues. So keep an eye on that from the resistance side of things. We'll go back down to the 30-minute time frame for supports. If there is any sort of pullback, then yeah, preferably speaking, what make this chart look the best? Certainly if the price can now start to stay up above that pink line there, the 200 period moving average. But also, as I was just talking about on the previous one, from assuming you care about the overarching standpoint, that purple line there, 50 period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, and as if you just envision that as a trend line, that's drawing itself for you. So as long as price is above the overarching trend line, then overall the bulls are in full health. Next one here, ANTE, and same general idea. So I'm going to go through this one a little bit quicker, but we have that ideal level of support. Again, the ideal level being, okay, hey Clay, what make the chart look the absolute strongest going forward? And on this one, certainly if the price can stay above that trend line, that would be a very, very impressive sign of strength. But then also just from the overarching standpoint, continue to watch the purple line there, 50 period moving average. So as it moves higher and higher, again, as I was just talking about, as long as the price is above there, then this one is in fully the bull's control. Now, what about areas of resistance? Once again, no need to overcomplicate this. Just ask the question, where did the party finally stop today? And that was up there at, we'll call it $1.79. So that will be the next battleground there. But all in all, any way you look at it, very, very impressive movement today. Got the gap up, and now it's got a strong and aggressive uptrend to it. So does the uptrend continue into Tuesday? We'll see what happens. Next one here, RGTI, and have yourselves a good solid pattern. So as I draw this pattern in play, please don't think that I'm trying to impress you or imply that this is some sort of great discovery on my part or special talent. Absolutely not. A lot of people you got to think have drawn this pattern, and I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same pattern and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So there is a top of the pattern. Bottom of the pattern right there again, green for support. And then just to make this easier to see, let's try to keep it all the same color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, have the big upwards move right there. And then for you golfers out there, try to make it a little bit more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to explode in the upwards direction. But would it be shocking if the price all of a sudden came up there, broke through there, and then that break created more buying pressure? I don't think anybody would be caught off guard by that. Again, that doesn't mean that it's for sure going to happen, but I wouldn't exactly call that some sort of shock, especially for those of you that play, bull pennant patterns. So overall, though, if you like bull pennants, keep an eye on it. Next one here, NVDA, and overall the chart's hanging in there. A little bit of a disappointment from where the price gapped up and went as highs right there on the earlier part of the day. It was actually up above this red line here of resistance at the 121.90 mark, but ultimately could not hold above it. And with the price falling back below it as it did there, technically this 121.90-ish area, or if you just want to call it 122, still an area of resistance. Good news is it's not like the price has to travel a great distance. I mean, the price literally would just have to go that distance, and then it could potentially do battle with it and maybe get a break up through there. On the flip side of things, as far as supports are concerned, things are behaving like you would want to see them behave. So that pink line right there, price pulled back, you can see found some support at that area before bouncing back upwards. If there is another bit of a pullback, then notice how both these moving averages are basically right at the same value. So you have the purple line, which is the 50-period moving average, pink line being the 200-period moving average. So basically right there, $118, I would consider not a do or die level of support going into Tuesday, but still a pretty important level of support nonetheless. But all in all, yes, there was a pullback, but big picture-wise, still plenty of opportunity to build that higher base and then get a push up through those resistance areas. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description area you can click on, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, looking at INTC, and drew this pattern in last week, and you can see ultimately did get the breakout of it right there. Nothing too explosive. Took some patience as it broke out and then basically went sideways for an entire day and then got more follow through here. So yes, now we have a new pattern in place. So let's get this mapped out. Go ahead and get rid of that. And again, like I mentioned earlier, me drawing this pattern, I'm not trying to impress you or anything like that. Let me make sure that we have some, I want to make sure that I had my settings right here. But anyways, let's get this drawn into play here from the pattern standpoint. So we have the key area of resistance right there. And in terms of areas of support. And then just to make sure, everybody's seeing the pattern. Let me keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the move right there, have the golf hole down here. So we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So can this come up and get a break and then get more push to the upside? We'll have to see what happens with it, but INTC, Intel, a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people watching it, which still, again, does not guarantee anything, but it does make potential self-fulfilling prophecies that much more possible. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos last week, but if you did, hopefully remember me talking about this 233.50 mark as a very, very important area of support. And yeah, today was rough in the sense of it gapped down and then pulled back more, but it did ultimately find some support right at that area. So yeah, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but to look at the glass as being half full, at least the price did not come down to that area and then just continue on down, because that would have not been a good sign at all. So 233.50 continues to hold strong, and that certainly remains the key area of support moving into Tuesday. If the price does try to curl itself back up, yes, you still do have the overarching trend line right here, but that's kind of irrelevant right now, because before you put really too much focus on that at all, price needs to first prove itself by getting above that purple line there. 50-period moving average currently valued at, we'll call it 242.35. So yeah, it's got a bit of a bounce here, but like I said, still work needs to be done. Got to get above that initial level right there and then get above the trend line right there. But like I said, if you're trying to look at the glass as being half full, it's good to see that the price was able to at least maintain above that area. Next one, QUBT, and I'm going to go through this one very quickly because you've already heard me talk about this time and time again, and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So there's our resistance, there's our support, and just because I cannot help myself, let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the upwards move right here, we have the golf hole down here. So yeah, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So definitely a good variety of bull pennants as we head into Tuesday. Next one, PLTR, and this will, again, mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have, hopefully you remember me talking about both these areas here, and both of them pretty much not to perfection, but broadly speaking, came into play today and are still relevant. So to start the day, price was up here around the 88.50 mark, and again, not did it get rejected directly off that area, it didn't, but generally speaking, right up around that red line, and then from there, the price came down, and then when the price did come down, you can see that, again, was it exactly, it was actually exactly right off the pink line. So classic example of the 200 period moving average. But as far as this level right here at about $85, give or take a little bit, again, generally speaking, it did hold strong quite a bit before getting now a nice little bounce back upward. So within the day itself, we essentially have ourselves a little miniature bull pennant pattern. So can this bull pennant get a break to the upside, and then will that break right there lead to an even bigger breakout up through that 88.50 mark? We'll have to see what happens with it. So all in all, PLTR is doing just fine. Now, if you're a day trader that you bought right there and wanted to buy and sell within 7 seconds from that angle, yeah, maybe things aren't looking so good. But assuming you care about the bigger picture, yeah, it was annoying that I got it rejected back down, but the area of support did hold. It is bouncing back upwards, so let's see if it can get more continuation on Tuesday. Next one here, TSLL, and I'll go through these in annotations. They're kind of everywhere, but overall, previously we've been following this trend line right here, and I was saying how the price, you'd want to see it stay above it. Unfortunately, the price fell above it this morning, and then just within charts when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and wouldn't you know it, you can't make this stuff up. Look right where the price got rejected. It tried to fight up through there, but that former trend line now right back to acting as resistance. So moving forward, if there is any sort of attempt at moving back up, yes, $9.40 is indeed a level of resistance. I'm not refuting that. My only point is one hurdle at a time. And the first key hurdle is now going to be that trend line there, which also just matches up basically perfectly with the purple line there, which essentially is at $8.70. So $8.70, I'm not saying it's impossible to break through, but just given the technicals of it, if there is going to be any sort of break up through it, the bulls are really going to need to bring their A game to fight up through that $8.70 mark. In terms of areas of support, again, if we want to look at the glass being half full, then it was good to see that with the pullback here, the price ultimately did find some support right here at that area of support that I've talked about in past videos, being, let's just call it the $8 mark. So you can see $8 held strong there, and once again has held strong within the late morning, early afternoon here. But all in all, it is a little bit of a descending triangle. So gotta think, a lot of people are wondering if this thing comes down and then breaks to the downside. Does that break right there generate a whole nother round of downside selling pressure? We'll see what happens on Tuesday. So that wraps up the top 10 lists. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the class later this week. It'll be Thursday, March 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, as always, if you enjoy these, please hit that like button. And if you have looking for just a free and very, very easy way to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button, as it really does help out. So thanks for watching. Make sure you get signed up for the free class.